Welcome to Be Less Stupid. I'm the host, John Hotchkiss. If you enjoyed this program, I encourage you to please subscribe to our channel. Michael Cohen made a surprise appearance in court. He was there to make a confession about his negotiations with Russia to build a Trump Tower in Moscow. This surprise confession opens a window on a very little reported episode from very early in Donald Trump's race for the presidency. Trump announced his intention to run for president on June 16, 2015. Less than 1 month later, Trump addressed the media at an event called Freedom Fest. Now, during this press conference, Trump is asked by a Russian journalist to discuss the U.S. sanctions against Russia. Before I show you that clip, you need to know that over the last 6 years, the U.S. has sanctioned Russia more than 60 different times. These sanctions are intended to prevent Russia, the government, its businesses, and individuals from doing certain things. Oligarchs are prevented from moving money internationally. Businesses are prevented from doing deals with American companies. The government is limited to whom it can sell oil. The sanctions are a form of punishment for things like not complying with U.S. sanctions against North Korea, supplying arms to Syria, civil rights violations, or hacking U.S. companies and meddling in our elections. Now, back to Freedom Fest. Trump is asked about these U.S. sanctions.
Sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm visiting from Russia. So my question.
Good friend of Obama, Putin. He likes Obama a lot. Go ahead.
My question will be about foreign politics.
Okay.
If you would be elected as a president, what will be your foreign politics, especially in the relationships with my country? Do you want to continue the politics of sanctions that are damaging of both economy, or you have any other ideas?
I believe I would get along very nicely with Putin. Okay? And I mean where we have the strength. I don't think you'd need the sanctions. I think that we would get along very, very well.
This was the first time that Trump had spoken about Russia, and people were, quite frankly, shocked by his response. Politicians and the media said they were the ramblings of a lunatic who would never actually win the presidency. It didn't make any sense. Why would a candidate for America's president go soft on our number one international enemy? For 3 years, we didn't know the answer to that question. Then, on November 29th, we actually got the answer. Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's lawyer, pled guilty in a New York courtroom to lying to the FBI. Back in 2017, the FBI asked Cohen when he stopped negotiating with Russia to build a Trump Tower in Moscow. Cohen told the FBI, January of 2016. Cohen said the project was dead and not really a big deal. However, that was a big lie. In fact, it was not dead, and it was a big deal, at least to Trump. Michael Cohen was negotiating with Russia on a Trump Tower Moscow until at least June 14th, 2016, 6 months longer than he had previously said. Now, here's why that's important. Remember back on July 12th? Trump stunned political watchers with his plan to remove U.S. sanctions against Russia if he were elected. Well, one of the Russian businesses under U.S. sanction was VTB Bank, a Russian state-controlled bank. Except there was one particular U.S. company that wanted very much to do business with VTB Bank. Donald Trump! You see, VTB Bank had agreed to finance the cost of construction of Trump Tower Moscow. So if the sanctions were lifted, Trump could get his tower built. While Trump was telling voters that his foreign policy objective as a someday U.S. president would be to be more friendly to Russia, to play nice with Putin, and to get rid of U.S. sanctions. At the same time, he would have personally benefited enormously from removal of those sanctions. Trump would have been paid $4 million to license his name and millions more every year to manage that property. Oh, and by the way, there is one more delightful turn in this story. The Russian journalist who asked Trump the question about sanctions.
If you would be elected as a president, what will be your foreign politics?
Her name is Maria Butina. She is currently in a U.S. jail, accused of espionage, of being a spy for Russia. Butina worked as a spy for some of the same people that Michael Cohen was negotiating with. There is still so much we don't know about the conspiracy between Trump and Russia to get him elected U.S. president. but the picture is becoming more and more clear every day. For Be Less Stupid, I'm the host, John Hotchkiss. If you enjoyed this, please share the video on social media and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's it for this episode of Be Less Stupid. I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching.